And then so you have like white, blue and white painting. It's called the Cheonghwa Baekja with some painting. So this is early Joseon Dynasty. And if you come to the late Joseon Dynasty, color is a little bit more impure. And then the color of blue becomes a little bit faded and lighter. So this is because of the density of cobalt, mineral pigment. Here, cobalt blue becomes lighter in late Joseon due to limited or interrupted supply of cobalt. It's like a mineral rock from China. Cobalt was an expensive mineral imported from Ottoman Turkey via China. So there is no steady supply of cobalt. So you have to be economical, frugal about it. Yeah, so you dilute it very little amount with a lot of water. So the painting itself becomes bitter. So this is a great example of mid 18th century, like 18th century, like late Joseon Dynasty, Cheonghwa Baekja, like white porcelain with blue pigments, white porcelain with raised cobalt blue. But look at the color; it's almost like a grayish, like that. So they diluted so much with water, so that you don't see the vivid blue. Like here, you see a lot of blue. But there is no blue anymore. It's more like a grayish color. So it's a flower with insects. Usually honeybees. They are coming to the flowers. So it's a good subject matters of yin and yang. Like a flower cannot grow fruits unless their flower powder are mixed by insects, right? So those kind of ideas. And you have a little bit of beige or reddish hues on the top, and this is also because their clay itself is good for white porcelain, but the impurity, like impure particles, were not completely removed. So after you bake it, you have like a little orangish hues remaining on the surface. This is also a very good example of 18th century. It's a grapevine. This is really great. Grapevine and grape leaf painted over here, and it's red because they use copper-rich slip as a medium. And do you remember like which occasion was good to have grapevine as a pictorial subject matter? This is one of these for the symbol, right? Korean art symbol. So on which occasion do you want to paint grapevine? Anybody remembering? The longevity, right? So usually I said 80th birthday of a great scholar or government official. What would be the subject matter? You can paint, of course, 10 symbols of longevity. But that's more, how can I say, a little bit more popular and common. So grapevine is a great example to wish somebody fruitful more years to live. So 80th day you may want to use that grapevine painting. And then late Joseon Dynasty, if you come as late as 19th century, you have this idea of using dilute cobalt blue with red pigments, the same red that you see over here, and that is copper red decoration. So flowers are red. The idea is, right, flowers are red, and then branch and leaves are blue, and then you have some more decorations on the neck. So that was the idea. So it is also glass coating on the top, all of them. So that's why it says underglaze, meaning painting. This painted motif are placed under the glass coating. It's a shiny surface. And this one I really want you to remember. This particular shape without any decoration, but they look like really round. This is not the maebyung. Remember, like a plum-based jar or maebyung. they had wide shoulders, right? This one doesn't have a wide shoulder. It actually has wide belly, right? The largest belly area. So this shape is called 달 항아리. 달 항아리 literally means moon jars. So this shape reminds people of a full moon. It's really round, a full moon. And how do you make those things? Any suggestion? You think of how you can create this extremely wide belly area economically. So one thing that I want to mention for the later, Abigail, yes.
Make the two halves by making shallow bowls and then piecing them together.
Yes. I mean, I explained on this description too. But if you think about, like dividing into half, right? The largest circumference, you somehow, with a knife, you cut them sharply. Then you have two identical bowls, right? The two wide bowls. So that's the idea. With the pottery wheel, you are going to make this one. So bottom is here, and then you are going to make this. Bottom is here, and then when you join them together right in the middle, and then the other half, you open. So it's used as. So what do you think of the production time? Would it be more efficient to make this as a one piece? Which one would be more efficient, making two and combining one, or making one jar?
It seems like making two, because it would be less challenging physically, and would it take more clay to do the other kind?
Exactly what Abigail said. Yes. And then also it's a labor of division. Instead of one person creating from beginning to the end, like two people keep making this, right? And then a third person can just conjoin them together, right? So it's a labor of, division of labor, and then it's more efficient. And then as Abigail just said, it's less challenging. There is a little, if you ever created clay, like a clay pottery with pottery wheel, you will know that getting getting reduced, like making the end is really hard. Like going wider is easier, but like somehow like making it short on the top is really hard. Sometimes it collapses. So it's a great choice of making two and combining into one, and then it creates the beautiful moon shape. So it's called the 달 항아리, meaning it was a very popular shape, and it was sold to many different social classes. So in a way, it's plebeian in taste or egalitarian in place. It's more like a people's taste, right? Like not really only for really wealthy people. 평화백자, like that we've studied earlier, these are still quite expensive because you still have to pay the labor or the additional effort for parents. And cobalt itself is expensive, but the 달 항아리, as long as you have the clay, you can make it. It's useful. You can put liquid inside. You can put grain inside, and then the neck is wide, so the purpose is more various. So it was very, very popular. So the reason I am saying this is any museum in the world with Korean art collection, you can find a 달 항아리. It's not very rare. There are a lot of them. So usually size is 14 inches, so it's a pretty good size. I mean, still you can embrace it with your arms. There are many of them. So 달 항아리 you have to remember as the most popular type of white porcelain in the late Joseon dynasty. We have one at the Met. This is at the Met, but as you can see, only this view is mainly white. If you see the other side, it will have this orangish color all around, and it doesn't look that white. So in Joseon dynasty, people were practical. They valued practicality more than the purity of the technique. So it's okay to have a little different hues on the base.